Whoa. I felt something fuzzy on the other side of that tree. That ain't good. What if I do that? I just hold this over my shoulder. What's up? Wanted to do a video talking about saddle hunting and talking about the basics of it, like trying to give an understanding to somebody that maybe has never done saddle hunting before, or you're just getting into it. I've been doing this for a couple years now, and I feel like a lot of the stuff I talk about is more advanced, and I kind of forget that there's people out there searching and they just want to know, like, what do I need? What's the cheapest way to get into this? How can I do this myself? Do I have to go buy this really expensive system with all the ropes and everything, or can I piece it together myself? So I kind of want to just show you everything that you need to get started, so that way you can make a decision on where you want to buy your stuff from. There's so many saddle hunting companies out there now. There used to be just a couple, and the industry has really grown. So let's get into it. All right, so here's kind of just the real quick overview of the gear that you need. First of all, the saddle, and we're going to go into that in more detail here in a minute. And then you want some sort of a platform or something for you to stand on once you get set up. This one's a Predator platform from Tethered. You want to figure out, like, how do you want to be hanging out in the tree when you get up there. Then you got your climbing method. I one-stick climb, and I have a whole video on that. If you ever think that you're interested in one-stick climbing, I did a whole how-to on how to do that. But essentially, you're going to need some way to climb the tree. A lot of guys will bring in a couple sticks. One thing you'll notice on this is there is this little rope bridge, and this is called an aider. This one has 2 steps. They come in all sorts of variations. I actually made my own. I'll put a link in the description on how you can make your own too, just by buying this steel rope and a few little tools, and you can make yourself one for really cheap. What this helps you do is it gives you more height for one stick. The whole point of saddle hunting is to stay lightweight, not carrying a whole bunch of stuff. To be able to carry in 2 sticks instead of 3, or 3 sticks instead of 4 is going to be really helpful. So being able to get those extra 2 steps for every stick is huge. Lastly, you're going to want something to hang your bow and your backpack and your gear on. This is the Versa strap from Tethered. And essentially all it is, it's just a strap, and it's got all these little loops. You can find something very similar to this on Amazon. You just want something where you can attach little carabiners, you can hook your backpack, you can attach something to hook your bow onto, something that just goes on and off real quick. This one just got a little carabiner here on the end. I just clip it around the tree. I've got another one on the end, clip my backpack to it. So that's the basics of it. Now let's start talking about the nitty-gritty of your saddle. All right, so we're talking about just the saddle. Now, when we get into the saddle, there's like 3 different rope terms that are thrown around all the time. People get confused between what's what. So just to start, we got your bridge. Now, your bridge is just a rope that goes between point A and point B on the sides of your saddle, and you clip into it with the other rope that is attached to the tree, which is called your tether. And that's how you hang from the tree. So just to give you a quick demonstration, I connect my tether to it, I tighten my tether, and then I'm able to suspend from the tree. So your bridge, people make them out of all sorts of stuff. This one's just some 9mm rope. Pretty much everything that I have is just the same 9mm rope. And over here, I have it connected with a double slip knot, which I'll put a link in the description, is the only knot that I use to pretty much make my entire saddle system, to tie everything on, carabiners, everything. It's a double slip knot. So I tied it on over here, and then over here I got some cord. I'll put a link in the description of where you can buy this. I tied my own knot. It's just 2 double slip knots tied together, wrapped it with some shrink wrap, and I put this over here on the other end with a Prusik knot so that I can adjust the rope tension. Now, what a Prusik knot does is when there's no tension on it, you can slide the rope through back and forth, and then as soon as you put tension, it grabs. So next we got your tether. Now, on the end of my tether, I have a carabiner that wraps around the tree and loops up. There's actually a different type of quick link device that you're supposed to use. This one, I don't believe is rated for side loading. Some guys will just have a loop on the end of their rope, and then they'll just pass their rope through the loop. But I have a carabiner or some sort of detachable thing on the end of my tether, because you're gonna get to limbs and you gotta go around them. You can't just move your rope up, go around the limb. You've gotta actually take your tether off, unclip it, go up above the limb. So you're gonna wanna make sure you have some sort of a quick link option here on the end. The rope goes all the way down. I have what's called a stopper knot at the end. There's videos all over YouTube on how to make a stopper knot. And then right here, I have a Ropeman 1 ascender. And all this does is essentially does the same thing that my Prusik knot does, but it's a metal climbing device. And so if I pull on this, I can move it up and down, but if I let go, it'll move up, but it won't move down, it'll grab. Pretty much as you climb, you know, you're gonna have your rope on the tree, you're gonna tighten it down, and then you're gonna wanna quickly pull the slack up so that you're into a safe position and you can put your weight on that rope. And the quickest way possible to do that is with one of these Ropeman 1 ascenders. The way that the Ropeman 1 works essentially is you have this little teeth section here, and it's on a spring, and it's gonna wanna always come back and grab the rope. And then the hole is where you put your carabiner through, and then your rope gets pinched between your carabiner and this claw right here. I was climbing around and there was a guy that saw this thing and he was just fascinated by it because he'd never seen anything like this before, and I don't blame him, because when I saw one of these, I was like, dang, that is the coolest thing ever. So in my mind, you can't skip out. Get yourself a Ropeman 1, you will not regret it. So enough about the tether. The other rope that you're gonna want is called a lineman's rope. And this essentially is just a rope that is gonna go around the tree and then clip in here on your side, and then you can adjust over on the other side. That's just so that you can take this off if you want, move it, put it back on. Some guys will climb the whole tree like this, and they'll just keep moving it up as they go if you got multiple sticks and that's how you want to do it, but that's what this rope is. Now with my lineman's rope, again, I have a carabiner on the one side to quickly wrap around the tree, clip it in, and then on the other side, I have a Prusik cord that's attached to my saddle with another carabiner just so I can get it on and off quickly. This Prusik line just lets me adjust the rope tension when I clip this on. You can put a Ropeman 1 here on your side, and you could do it with that. A lot of guys have a Ropeman 1 on their side for their lineman's rope to quickly adjust that too. That would be super smart. I just kind of cheaped out on the lineman's rope because I don't use it quite as much. And usually when I clip this on around the tree, I'm already clipped in on my tether. I'm putting this lineman's rope on usually so that I can move my tether around a limb or something like that. So I have plenty of time to adjust my rope down here. So the Prusik knot does fine for me. So then when it comes to the saddle, it doesn't really matter what you have. There's all sorts of saddle manufacturers, like I said, and they all make pretty good saddles. I chose the H2 saddle only because this is one of the better saddles I feel like that were being made at the time. In my opinion, I would get a saddle that has a heavy duty belt section up at the top and has the ability to hold a lot of weight. There's a lot of lightweight mesh saddles out there. Everybody's like, yeah, it feels like you're not wearing anything. Well, this one's not bad, but there's this heavy duty utility belt deal running through this, and when I put a lot of weight on it, the belt's wide enough that it can hold that weight and it doesn't feel super duper uncomfortable. The reason for that is if you buy a saddle and you decide, I want to try one sticking and I'm gonna load this gigantic bag full of rope up and put all this other crap on my saddle and lug it all out there, well, it's good to have a saddle that can hold that weight. You might not want to do that, you might not care, you might just, you know, do whatever climbing system that you want, but I think having a saddle that can hold and distribute that weight is pretty important. Second to that would just be having these molly loop attachments that run along the top for putting attachments. And as you can see, I have quite a bit. Over here, this is just a little gear tie from Night Eyes, and I put my platform on this and I tie it up like this when I'm climbing, just so my platform is right on my side and I can get to it real easy. Back here, this is a Doyle's gear hoist, which is a self-retracting, it's spring-loaded, but it's a self-retracting bow rope. So I've got that. That's super nice to have. Over here, I've got a whole bunch of rope and I've got some belay devices. This is all for one sticking. So if you're not one sticking, you probably won't have any of this on your saddle. But that's really the only thing I would say is important when you're looking for a saddle, is just that it's more heavy duty and can distribute the weight. I've also found that they're a lot more comfortable when they're more heavy duty than when they're not. One thing I have over here is just a little clip for my camera, and while I mentioned this in a different video, I don't know if I would be able to clip my camera on my saddle and have all that weight of my saddle system, my platform, my camera, and feel comfortable without having more of a beefier saddle system. And I've got this little utility belt buckle on here. That's really nice. You kind of can preset the distance and it doesn't really slide at all. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm pulling on it and it's staying put. That part's pretty nice so that you get it preset and it just kind of stays there and you can just clip it on. Last thing I want to talk about is just walking out with your saddle on. I have no problems with it because this saddle is the right size to me, but the thing you don't want to do is get a saddle that's too big. I got one for my brother so that he can film me and stuff, and it's a big saddle. I think it's a size XL. But what happens when you have a saddle that's too big for you is these leg straps are going to hang way down here on your leg, and when you try to connect them up here, what's going to happen is this connection point's going to be way down here. And then when you try to walk, your legs are just going to constantly snag and pull on that strap instead of the straps being up here by your crotch where they should be, so that it's a lot easier walking. I have no problem walking in with this thing. I've always put it on before I go out to my spot. So I'm just going to do a quick rundown and show you guys how to start from the ground, get up on the tree, start your climb, and then get your platform on or whatever and be ready to hunt. So the first thing I do is I take my tether and I just kind of pull my ropeman and my carabiner up to the other carabiner, and then I do daisy chain. It's not really a knot, but I daisy chain all the rope up, and I just do this so that I can store it on my saddle and it saves a lot of space. And I just loop the end through the end like that. I'll clip it up on my carabiners just to kind of compact it, and in the end it looks something like that, and then you can clip that anywhere you want. You got your climbing stick. It doesn't really matter what kind of climbing stick you have. There's all sorts really, but I'm going to teach you the fundamentals of climbing. Take this off for now. So as you can see, I got my platform here attached to my saddle, so it's out of the way. I can focus on my stick, my ropes, and the ascent. All right, so you got your stick on the tree. In a regular situation, it'd be way up here, but so you can see what I'm doing, I'm going to put it down here. Now, first thing you're going to do is just climb up onto your stick. Pretty much what you want to do is you want to be safe. First of all, this is not safe. Being up in the tree and being able to fall off your climbing stick isn't very safe. So we want to get our lineman's rope around the tree. So I grab the end with the carabiner. I come around here and clip it on. So your lineman's up here. You're connected up. You're safe to go ahead and start your climb. So if you have another stick, maybe it's tied on to the other side, this is when you grab that, put it up here, and then climb up, and you can usually just move this up as you go. Now if you get to a point you've got a limb or whatever the situation is and you have to unclip this to get around something, the unsafe thing to do would be to just unclip and hold the tree. The better thing to do would always be to tie in twice before you unclip this. So this is when I'm going to break out my tether, pull that out. So I'll take the end with the carabiner, wrap it around the tree. So it's connected to the tree. I take the end with the ropeman one, connect it up to my bridge, and then tighten the slack. So now I'm connected up to my tether. So now it's safe to undo my lineman's rope. Essentially, you just always want to be tied into the tree. Don't ever put yourself in a situation where you're not leaning on some sort of a rope. That's when things get unsafe and you don't want that. If you got multiple sticks, you get to the top, you got your tether on the tree. Pretty much the only other thing is just put your platform on and your Versa strap to hold your bow. Now, once you got your platform, one thing to always keep in mind is that it's really going to be hard to step up onto your platform. The best thing to do is put your platform about the same height as where your stick is. To adjust this ropeman, I've got it tight. I want to get it looser so I can get down there. What you want to do is you want to pull up so that you're loosening your slack, and then you can pull on this little cable to let go of the ropeman, and make sure you let go of that cable so it clamps back down before you put your weight on it. If you've got this ropeman disengaged and then you let go and you fall, like it will fall. It's spring loaded to grab, but you got to always make sure you let back go. So essentially what you do is you just pull up on your weight, disengage the ropeman, and then let go and it'll grab again. So now I'm down here and I'll just put my platform on the tree. All right, and now to get back up, I'm gonna pull my weight up and then pull the slack. Now you can just step right over onto your platform. And you're ready to go. Usually you want your tether right about head height with where you're at on the tree. And if you're gonna climb down, pretty much you just repeat the process in reverse order. Put your lineman's belt on, you undo your tether, clip it onto your saddle, which I'm not gonna take the time to do, and then just step down onto your stick and just kind of proceed until you get down to the ground. So lastly, I'm just gonna kind of quickly go over where did I get the gear items that I use to put my saddle together. People charge buku bucks for a tether that has the carabiners, the ropeman. People charge tons of money for this bridge, have an adjustable bridge. And the reality is you can buy the exact same rope and make literally everything out of the same rope. All you need to know is how to tie one knot, which there's a video linked in the description on how to do that. And you can set your whole saddle up with pretty much this rope and this black cord to make your Prusik loops. So this rope is 9mm rope off of doublesteps.com. Probably want about 50 foot of it if you're gonna one stick climb. But if you're not, all you need is a rope for your tether and for your bridge and for your linemen's. You probably need like, I don't know, maybe 15 foot. And it's really not that expensive. This black cord right here, also got this on doublesteps.com. Very cheap. It's really easy. I use the exact same knot to tie these loops. And then I just get some shrink wrap. You can buy shrink wrap in pretty much any diameter on Amazon. I'll put a link to that in the description. The Night Eyes gear tie, put a link in the description to that. These are super nice. You can like twist tie anything on your saddle. Doyle's gear hoist. Pretty sure you can buy this on Amazon. You might be able to buy it actually on their website, but this thing is a must-have. I've got these really nice pouches, and it's almost like a fleece pouch, and they've got real nice little elastic drawstrings on the top. These are also doublesteps.com. If you guys aren't figuring this out, you need to go to doublesteps.com to get a lot of your stuff because they got really good deals. You can buy about everything that you need to set up your own saddle system on there. The only thing I don't think I got on doublesteps.com would be carabiners and the Ropeman 1. You can buy them on doublesteps.com, but I got them on Amazon. This is a very universal climbing carabiner. I'm sure if you look up climbing carabiners, you're gonna see something like this on Amazon. I'll try to put a link in the description, but it's just a basic black quick link carabiner. And then this one, this is the bigger carabiner. I'll try to put a link in the description for this, but I prefer this one for clipping in and out of my bridge and using with the Ropeman 1. The Ropeman 1 you can also get on Amazon. The only other thing I think that I have on my system that I have not talked about is hockey tape. And I just took camo hockey tape and I wrapped almost every metal moving part of my saddle just to make sure I can keep stuff quiet. As you can see, I got to rewrap some of it. The tape's wore off. But camo hockey tape is like your best friend for silencing metal parts. Your gear hanger for your bow, your backpack. This is the tethered Versa strap. And it just has a little loops. You can buy something like this on Amazon. You can make your own, which if you make your own is gonna be looking almost like this. And this is just AM steel. I think this is 3/16 inch AM steel. I'm not sure. Pretty much all I did was make really small little loops all the way down so that I can wrap this around the tree and hook it over my little button right here. You can make this stuff yourself. I'll put a link in the description on how to do it. Lots of guys have videos on how to do it. It's just, like I said, it's this AM steel with these little loops. It's really nice because there's no moving metal parts, there's no buckles, anything like that. You can wrap it all up, store it away. This aider that I made, this is AM steel as well. This is a little bit thicker AM steel. I'll put a link in the description to that. and hopefully a link in the description on how to make your own aider. I just learned off of somebody else's video. I'll probably make a video eventually, but I haven't. And I just put some plastic tubing here for the steps, and then I wrap that in hockey tape. But this is a Muddy Pro stick that I just cut down to be a little bit shorter. Nothing crazy special. You can buy these all over the place, and that's it. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this helped you in some way, shape, or form. If something was confusing, just let me know. I'm like literally have all this saddle hunting paraphernalia running around in my head, and I do this all the time. So to me, something that's very complicated probably seems easy, and I suck at explaining complicated things probably. But if you've got any questions, drop them in the comments. I'll make a video on it, I promise. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you like saddle hunting stuff, if you like Michigan content. We hunt a lot of public, some private land here in Michigan. It's tough. We show you all the ups and the downs of everything that we do. The season videos for this past year are dropping here really soon, and I cannot wait to see your guys' reactions at how much we suck at hunting. No, we did pretty good in Kansas, but it was a tough season. So anyways, catch you guys later. Have fun prepping for opener if it hasn't already hit. I know there's early seasons hitting all over the place. We got Kentucky's, Tennessee, early velvet stuff going on. People are going to North Dakota, all sorts of fun stuff. I'm not doing anything until October 1st, so that's that. But we'll see you guys next time.